Have you ever wondered what it would be like if guns could talk? Me neither. So strap on your spacesuit, collect the bounty, and make sure your talking gun is fully loaded as we bounty hunt for this platinum in this week's game, High on Life. But what is High on Life? Well, High on Life is a comedic first-person shooter game with action, adventure, and Metroidvania elements. It takes place in a science fiction world which features talking guns. It was created by Justin Roiland and developed and published by Squanch Games. The game was released on December 13th, 2022 for Xbox and was later ported to PlayStation 4 and 5 on July 22nd, 2023. High on Life base game has a total of 33 trophies, 18 bronze, 8 silver, 6 gold, and of course, 1 platinum trophy. There are no difficulty set trophies and nothing is missable as you can revisit all areas, even boss fight ones. Note however that there are several missable trophies that you need to keep in mind, so we will start with them. When you first travel to the slums, a kid will block your path. Send him to the big playground in the sky to unlock this trophy. This trophy requires several steps. TLDR, hunt bounties in a certain order, and after completion buy a drum at the pawn shop and give it to the child on the street, and then revisit him after every bounty. In the description I will link the PSN profiles page that goes into more detail about this. After defeating 9torg and acquiring Knifey, go back to your house and stab Jean. During the bounty for Crudis, you will enter an office area. Make sure you have Sweezy equipped, and when asked if you are the new boss, say yes. Once you've acquired the jetpack, meet Stan in Blim City and buy his alien milk. This trophy will unlock once you have completed the game. Later on in the game, when you exit the High on Life store in the slums, you will see a dead man on the floor. Make sure to take his mag boots. Before leaving the Applebee's, make sure to pay the bill. And in the final boss fight, you will need to sacrifice one of your guns. Choose whichever one you want, except for Kenny. He is the first gun you get. Okay, now with all the missables out the way, let's go over the collectibles. Luglock's chests can only be opened once you have Knifey, and there are 227 of them in the game. Make sure you upgrade your health and jetpack as soon as possible, as this will help immensely. But don't worry too much about them, as most of them are out of reach on your first playthrough. Save this for the post game. Now, after collecting all of them, you will notice that the trophy does not pop. Do not fear. By this time, you will have unlocked the ability to warp in bases. You will need to warp in the locations Quiet Cottage, here you will find 3 talking lug boxes, and Skate Park. To unlock the lug box here, you will need to talk to the teens and then beat the high score. This is fairly easy. Deviating a second from the collectibles, there is a trophy for warping in and exploring all warp bases. There are 6 in total, and to be able to do this, you will need 2 things. The warp crystals you get after clearing out enemies that warp in with their bases. You will need 31 in total, and then head over to Chef Blotto in Blim City to buy the warp discs needed. Returning to the collectibles, you will need to collect every trading card in the game. Thankfully, all but 2 of them can be found in the lug boxes. The last 2 can be found in the pawn shop in Blim City. Mods please ban. This is another post-game trophy and possibly the last trophy you get. The TLDR is in the menu. You have a forum where they talk about exploring certain areas and killing certain enemies. Again, on PSN profiles you can find the best farming areas, and don't let this grind worry you too much, as once you have eliminated every enemy in question, just reload, checkpoint and start again. There is however a forum post about finding 5 hints about Dr. Googler. I would suggest watching the video of the locations where to find them, as this will save time in the post game. The last trophy we will discuss is Epic Legendary Prize, where you need to sit through the entirety of a countdown show on TV. This will take about 8 minutes, and the show is RNG, meaning this could take you a few minutes, or like in my case, all night. The show in question has a robot with 3 green eyes. A way to speed this along and find a TV show that you need is to reload checkpoint when you are in front of the TV. Good luck. After all the bounty hunting is done, you should be the proud owner of an ultra rare 1.1% platinum trophy. But is carrying around alien milk for the whole game worth this platinum trophy? As a Rick and Morty fan, I really thought I'd enjoy High on Life more than I did. But in the end, I found myself simply going through the motions. I found myself disengaged, almost playing on autopilot, just waiting for the game to be over. It became a task to complete rather than something I was enjoying. The story at its core is pretty basic. Aliens invade Earth and harvest humans as a drug, and it's up to you to save the world. While the premise could have been fun, the execution is rather lacking. Any attempts at storytelling feel shallow and uninteresting. There are several moments where the game tries to make you care about the characters, but you're stuck listening to long cutscenes that I couldn't bring myself to care about. The emotional moments are just not that impactful. It feels more like filler and no substance. And there are the dialogue choices. You're given the option sometimes to either be kind or a jerk. But honestly, these choices feel meaningless. Do they affect the story in any noticeable way? Not that I could tell, and frankly, I couldn't be bothered to care. It's like having dialogue options just for the sake of having them, with no real consequences or depth behind the choices. When it comes to gameplay, it's not bad, but it doesn't save the experience either. It's fine, serviceable, but uninspired. It doesn't elevate the game enough to make you want to keep playing, especially when you're already checked out of the story. That's a major issue when you're hunting for the trophies too. The gameplay feels like it's just there to fill in time, but the story is what truly drags down the experience. Speaking of trophies, the trophy list is not overly difficult or obnoxious, but it does have some problematic elements, especially when it comes to missable trophies and collectibles. Over 227 collectibles. Seriously? While the maps aren't too large, cleanup will still be around 1 to 2 hours, and it just feels like padding to extend the gameplay. The worst offender is the Mods Please Ban trophy, which requires you to kill a ridiculous amount of enemies. This feels like a textbook example of wasting the player's time. It's unnecessary and downright disrespectful. This kind of trophy makes it clear that the game isn't valuing the player's time, just pushing them to grind unnecessarily. And as if the collectibles weren't enough, trying to get back to your house while hunting for them is the real pain. There is no clear indication of where the warp gate is post-game, so you're forced to remember the route you took to find it again. It gets really frustrating because without a map or any way to mark your route, you're left wandering around aimlessly, having to rely on your memory for something so basic. Really pulls you out of the experience, and it just adds to the overall frustration. All things considered, High on Life is a middling game with a mediocre story and an okay trophy list. Is it an easy platinum? Yes, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's worth rushing in to complete. If you're someone who has literally nothing else to play, then sure, go for it. Especially since it was free on PS Plus, but I wouldn't recommend prioritizing it. I kinda feel bad for the people who actually paid for it, as the game doesn't really offer much to make the experience feel rewarding. I had a conversation with my friend HT, who gave up on the platinum because he too also found the game dull and uninspiring. I told him that their previous game, Trover Saves the Universe, was a much better experience. The game used the Rick and Morty formula more efficiently and was far more enjoyable. If you're looking for a fun, quirky game in the same vein, I'd suggest playing that instead.
Hey, sorry, us Mac and Cheese brothers, we can be a little hot-headed. It's fine if you kill any of them, We're all really loud and annoying, so I get it. Our family has a lot of brothers, so, yeah, it's no real big loss. It's fine. Oof, you just shifted into the gray zone, or the dark, whatever, the evil zone.
High on Life's Platinum Trophy is a 5 out of 10. Thanks everyone for watching. I have more videos like this on my channel, so go give that a look. If you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. Also share the video, that also helps the channels. Thanks again for watching, and look at me, I'm Pickle PTR. Wagga wagga wagga. Rubber dubba dub dub. Burp. I do apologize about that. See you all next time.